Hey, y'all. Today we're going to be tackling questions around commission. And we're going to be answering questions that you might have that you're not brave enough to ask because, it's the white elephant in the room, especially when we meet with sellers and we meet with buyers. They know we get paid somehow, but they don't really want to ask it, and it's the South, and it can be improper. So we're going to ask the questions for you and then answer them. I love answering my own questions. So let's knock this thing out.
Yeah, so one of the first questions we get, especially when people have been interviewing agents, is why are they all different? Why is one agency a commission-based, a percentage off of the sales price, and why is this one a flat fee? I don't understand what the difference is. And basically the simple answer to that is because it boils down to the service that agent is going to provide, right? So somebody who charges a flat rate might just be a limited service agency versus somebody like the Art of Real Estate where we're a full service company.
Absolutely. And some companies probably charge the same amount and do different services or less services. So you really got to vet that out in the interview process, and we've got a whole other blog post on that.
And one thing I'll just point out too, due to antitrust laws, it's illegal for agents to get together and set one flat commission rate. So oftentimes agents have no clue what another agent is charging. So it's important that when you're interviewing, you speak to that agent about what they charge and why they charge that.
Yep, absolutely. And then going forward too, we're just talking on behalf of our company, just to kind of reiterate that. So one question we get is when do I have to actually pay it? Do I pay it up front? Do I pay it along the way?
Dollar bills.
Yeah.
Unmarked bills.
Right. Or quarters. Just pay me in quarters. But no, typically how we work is we get paid at closing. So you sell your house, you get a check, just minus our fee. And you'll know all that because, gosh knows, when we first meet, we're going to have a whole thing called a seller's net. You're going to know every nickel and dime, where it's going and how it's going to work. So there's no installments. There's no upfront money with our company. We are straight up. If we're successful, we get paid. And if we're not successful, we fail. So I'm just kidding. All right, talk about this one.
Yeah, so a lot of times I get questions from buyers asking, well, if you're going to represent me as a buyer's agent, is that a free service or how are you going to get paid? And so ultimately, this is how it works. When a seller lists their house with an agent, they sign a contract with that agent and they offer to pay a certain commission to that agent, their listing agent. Then that agent turns around the MLS and says, hey, any buyer's agent that brings a buyer, I'm going to split that with you. I'm going to offer a part of that to you, right? So essentially, a buyer's agent is working with the buyer, but they're getting paid at closing out of that set commission that comes out of the seller's proceeds.
Yeah, and it's not like the buyer's agent owes anything to the seller. It's just the way the money flows, so they're not going to be working for the seller. They're going to be most likely working on behalf.
Pretty sweet deal for a buyer because you've got an agent that gets paid at closing and doesn't come out of your pocket.
Yeah, it's also the chicken or the egg kind of thing because, the seller's agent's paying the commission, but you're paying the seller the amount they want, which includes it. So who's paying commission?
Comes out of the seller's side.
Whatever makes you feel better. The next question we get is, when do you know what our fee is? And I can speak for our real estate is we don't have a set commission rate. We like to look at every house with a magnifying glass and just say, what is it going to take to sell this house? The average days on market, is it longer or shorter? Is it an easier house? Is it not? So we take all of that in and then we present that to our seller clients and say, here's what we think we can sell it for and how much we can sell it for. And then you'll know that up front before you go into an agreement with us, because a listing agreement is in essence a contract to sell your house. So we want you to know all of those fees and everything else before we even get the ball going.
But no matter who you list with, that should be spelled out in the contract, and you should feel comfortable with why they're charging what they're charging.
Absolutely. Another question we get is does it, if a house stays on the market longer, does the fee change? No, it doesn't. So it is, at least for us, it is written in the contract. We don't ask for more if it gets harder, if we have to do more work. It is just an all-inclusive one fee.
Right. So I'm going to make a little disclaimer about what I'm about to tell you because I'm not a CPA, I'm not a tax attorney,
at all.
And the tax laws can change all the time. But as it stands right now, for a seller, any charge or any fee that they incur to get their home ready for sale or to get it sold in that year that it does sell is a tax deduction for them. So congratulations, sellers. We're just saving you some money on your taxes. So commission happens to be one of those tax deductible items for you.
Absolutely. And again, it's a deduction. It's not dollar for dollar, but
every little bit helps.
Makes you feel a little better. Right. And some people also ask us do I just write you a check? Do I have to bring you the dollar bills or the pennies or whatever it is? No, it's all done on a closing disclosure with an attorney because we're an attorney state. So, but they'll show every dollar and cent. They'll give you your check just minus our fee, and it's not. You don't have another fee like she said earlier about going to the buyer. It's all just one fee and it kind of flows through there. So, no, please do not write us a check.
Right. So then we get asked sometimes, well, what happens if we get into this listing agreement and we've decided on a commission, but then something changes and I decide I don't want to sell my house. Maybe I'm going to stay put. Maybe I didn't get that job I thought, or, I'm going to rent it to a family member. Yep. Again, each one is case by case, but here at the Art of Real Estate, we always want to do what's in the best interest of our client. So if we come to a point where we need to let you out of an agreement, you do not owe us a commission at that point.
Absolutely. Now, I do want to be clear that it does cost money to try and sell houses, to attempt to sell houses. And again, we ask for a certain amount of time to try and sell something because we think we can sell it for that price. It's up to each agent on case by case, but just remember there are hard costs. So we take it seriously when we list a house because we're investing money and time into it. So as always, we're putting a lot of content on our blog and our website. We also put it out through social media, and we have a heck of a time on Insta Story. So make sure you follow us on all these. We're not just out there just, oh, here's a new house for sale. Like, it's actually some pretty cool content. So thanks for watching this one, and we'll see you next time.